Good morning, everyone. It's a nice wild woolly day outside as I woke up only about 10 to 15 minutes ago and fed the dogs, put a load of washing on because I needed to. All sorts of little things, but it wasn't many because I knew I was wanting to come here to do our daily Lenormand card spread reading. I'm Roz Bounty, Psychic Medium, bringing to you this general card spread reading that helps us gain some clarity, some guidance for our day ahead, even if it is a late start. So we'll go over to the cards and see what they actually have in store for us. Tap into your psychic senses, your spiritual connections, and also bringing in that is your own inner knowing of what these messages may be meaning for you, because you know what your life situation is and what's happening around you. These do just help give you some extra clarity and possibilities for your day. So here we are. Oh, they are a bit far away this time. I thought I'd panned them out. Let's zoom into them just a little bit. Here we go. Now, as you saw, we are still using the Fairy Tale Lenormand deck. A wonderful little deck that I like. I'm enjoying using them now. We have been doing them for a couple of months and concentrating on this deck. It's quite an eye-opener, actually, with the stories, the fairy tales and the origins of them. Here we go with our owl card that we usually start with as well. So I've got beautiful fortune favours the brave, this snow owl. I think that's what it is. It's definitely an owl, I know that, and it's a Latin proverb. So isn't it gorgeous? In flight. Most of those that we've had this week so far already, last week, there's been flight involved with the birds, as in they've been already up there and flying. I love that. It's rather a nice aspect of inaction. Let's get there and start doing and keep it going. Good morning, Narelle. Lovely to see you here. Yes, I am late. I have slept in completely. Don't know why. The body is just wanting to have its sleep, so I do allow it. I don't have an alarm set. I don't need to. So here we go. The 4 cards in our fan spread. What we have as the basis for today's energies is the moon. So it's that nurturing sense of, what we're moving ahead with. I love it with the fact that what we've got is the snow owl, that beautiful energy of cleansing, the whiteness, the purity, the bringing in something that's going to wash clean what we're doing today in some sense. That's what I'm getting from it. So a nice card. No, I don't think it's in winter, though it probably could be. Anyway, we've got the moon, we've got the dog, letter and tower supporting the moon energy for today. So let's start with the moon, and I'll look up the story card meaning. It's, oh, excuse me. I seem to have a froggy in the throat this morning. I haven't been up for very long, so I suppose that's understandable. So the moon is a keyword sequence, keywords of recurring events, cycles, awards, and public acclaim. So I'm feeling that that's because we're coming out of the dark and being revealed. So that, and I think it is coming up for a full moon. I have a funny feeling that's tomorrow. So although at the moment with the clouds in the sky and the wind blowing, it's fairly strong energies around at the moment outside, that may not be seen tonight or tomorrow, who knows. The sun is there, of course, it always is, but it's being hidden by the clouds. And it's pretty sort of cool. It's starting to get that nice little tinge of spring around though, isn't it? Because we are coming close to what is the calendar spring, but I think it's here. So here's the moon, and it's spotlighting Cinderella's coach. This is the story that we're looking at. So in the Little Slipper story, Cinderella has to be seen more than once by the prince to make a deep impression. So I'm not quite sure of the Little Slipper story myself. I still haven't made time to look up all of the old stories yet, and at some point I will, but I've got too much of other stuff to do. And hello, lovely to the lovely Michaela. Wonderful to have you here, and you did find me. I'm assuming that that would be on my Facebook page. I haven't got my iPad open to check where people are. I'm just happy that you're here. Wonderful that you are. And that I am too. And thank you for your message too, Michaela. I dare say you might have been concerned I was this late. Anyway, let's get back to the story. So, the little slipper story, Cinderella has to be seen more than once by the prince to make a deep impression. So, when you see this card, remember that public acclaim may be close at hand, and that's because we're coming from that shadow into the light. Like Cinderella may be noticed. Of course, she was noticed for her beauty. Your awards may come from other things. The moon shines on cycles as well, because we do know we have the lunar cycle, and like we've got with the full moon coming tomorrow. So stick to the plan to reap the applause. If you're looking at this card in terms of a business venture, then promotion is a necessity or definitely an opportunity. Her fairy godmother had to dress Cinderella. Oh, excuse, I definitely have a froggy throat. Her fairy godmother had to dress Cinderella up so she would be noticed. So pay attention also to things that happen more than once. So this could be the moon pointing to something important that you need to know. What lies near the moon may be things that deserve praise from you, so don't overlook the power of the moon in showing you where you can improve yourself so you can garner more attention. It's almost like the way that the moonbeams sparkle on their pathway through a window, that there's some that you notice more than others, and it's going to bring up that shines the most, I think. Take notice of that with what the moon's telling us today. And remember, this is the one that's going to be the more prominent influence today, is that moon energy. Now we're going to look at it in context with the dog card. And good morning, Caro. Lovely to see you here. Love the sunflower. Thank you for being here. So with the dog, I know this is the story of the dog and the elephant that parted, got separated, and the elephant was really, really sad. Let's read it. The key words are trust, loyalty, friends, dependability, which we know already from the dog card. So this one is about the story called The Elephant and the Dog. The Sultan's elephant stopped eating when his loyal companion was taken away, so someone had taken the dog away. Sultan's very upset when his favourite pachyderm nearly dies without his canine companion. So, and we can just see that shadow of the dying, the really sad and dying elephant as an impression. That's not the elephant. And when it was returned, what we get is the happiness of the elephant. He came back to health. And there you can just see his trunk sharing the food that the dog has or has had in the bowl, because that's how close their companionship, love and trust are. So it's a wonderful story of things that look bad but once back into place of what once was. In this instance, there is that loyalty, there is that unconditional love and sharing. So we've got that supporting our moon energy today, as well as now we go for the letter. And that is communication. We've got another dog-like animal in the background there, but this one is the wolf. And I will read this one direct from the book, because it's to do, I think it's Red Riding Hood or something like that, but the key words are written, exchanges, results, document, message, instructions, mail. So it's about, how we're communicating. And The Little Red Riding Hood by Charles Perrault is a tale relating to communication. So Red Riding Hood's mother has instructed her to bring the basket of treats for her grandmother and to stay on the path. But the wolf has slipped a letter into the basket as well. So unaware of the lupine threat just a few steps away, there's some wonderful words in the English language, isn't it? Our heroine has stopped to pick some flowers. Her pause gives the wolf a chance to communicate with her, which is the letter. He tricks her into telling him where her grandmother lives, and he must have spoken. So there you go. When she finally made it to her grandmother's cottage, Little Red Riding Hood knew that something was wrong. The wolf had devoured the grandmother and eats Red Riding Hood too. Yum yum. The woodsman hears the wolf and quickly cuts him open to save both Red and her grandmother. So in this tale, as in many, contents of a letter can affect the outcome of a story. So in this style of read in the Lenormand, the card does represent written exchange and important information usually, and sometimes quite personal information. So when we're seeing it, we know that some news is coming. So that's what that's going to be meaning for our day to day. Be open and aware for some news coming. And here we have the possibility of being able to get away from that is our common, our usual aspect of living to freedom, to being that sense of freedom and not trapped in. But here's the story for this one. It's the key word is about corporations, large buildings, restrictions, bureaucracy, and edifice. It is a big edifice, so it's usually the bigger corporations and companies. So what this is telling us is the Rapunzel story, and it's the tale of the young woman trapped in a tower. She's held there because of a problem created by her parents. Her rescuer was a prince determined to make it all the way to the top of her tower. Don't know whether he did or not. Let's see. This card points out that we can be restricted by the rules and regulations of the land, which we definitely are. This card also refers to large buildings, which we can see. It quite literally means a skyscraper, a palace of power, dome of power. Rapunzel's punishment's a type of legal proceeding since her father broke the witch's rules by sneaking into her garden. Dealing with bureaucracies can be a nightmare of red tape, but if her parent had asked instead of taken, Rapunzel might not be imprisoned in the tower. So this is where we've got unseen consequences of actions that we may not have been within our rights to do, or we're seeking out various ways and means of doing things by the rules that we're caught by. So, oops, I have someone. She hasn't realised. She'll realise I've poked a button that was actually the wrong one. That's all right. Anyway, what we've got there is that now I've lost the page for that one anyway, so it doesn't matter. What we've got here is the the being loyal, trustworthy, and a friend. It's that unconditional love with others around us, and more especially, I suppose, we're interacting with someone that we already know deeply, and we're communicating by letter, by words, by written form, and it may be through needing to work through some of that is the bureaucracy, some of that's the legal stuff, and it can be things we're caught in inadvertently that we need to be extricating ourselves from for some instances. Think what it means for you in your life situation. For a few I know who are doing real estate transactions, it could be that there may be that final step or two towards having settlement and all of that. See where that light is shining for you today. That is the more nurturing side of the light spectrum, the energies of the feminine, and that's going to bring a softness to what we're experiencing as well, so that we feel nurtured and cared for, and that things will move through smoothly in whatever we're dealing with government, big companies, that sort of thing. In whatever way that's meaning for you, it's a beautiful, soft, loving, warming and washing through with like the sparkles of moonbeams. That's what I'm feeling with this for our reading today. So take what you need from it. Good morning, Sani. Oh, Nasanya, I suppose I should say. We're not children, are we, anymore? Morning to you. So it's lovely to have this sort of guidance for what you can take from it. It's not anything that is set in concrete. The energies shift and move in the way that we need to be understanding them, because naturally, of course, one reading like that's not going to be the absolute exact meaning for each and every one of us. It's going to have that movement through like a wash, like the moonbeam shining on different parts of it for you. So take up what you're feeling from these cards and live your day in a full being present, okay? In having that conscious awareness of what you're moving into in each step, what your intentions are. You know, you wake up when in the morning, the first thing. Well, I mean, I'm just relating how I do. I wake up and I'm laying there first up thinking, oh, I want to snuggle more, but then you start thinking, what is the day ahead? And put your attentions in it to the best way that you want things to work out. Don't look at the negatives. Bring in that is your focus for the positives, for how you want your day to pan out, and walk that pathway and be lighted by the moon energy today. That's where we're at. So thank you so much for joining me, especially this late. I'm not normally, so as you know, but the body needs what it needs. So it's probably a bit more of the message too. And here Sandra does, you know, sum it up. Our intuition is such a good guide. Be aware of it. Trust it. And when you feel that your body needs that extra minute or two, or half an hour or whatever, or just go back to sleep, which mine did, you know, it's all sorts of ways that we can just trust our inner self, that intuition, the psychic senses, whatever you want to label it. Thank you, Michaela. And there, yes, you need to rest. We all do. Exactly. I'm putting this message out because we are all needing to open up more of our awareness to what our inner body and physical body needs. And we are body physical, body mental, body spiritual, and all the auras around it. Anyway, that's something for another day. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep being the best you. Until tomorrow, namaste.